All right, so last night we finally got our first official preview of version 4.0 of Honkai Star Rail here, which is pretty interesting. They just dropped it as a tweet out of nowhere. So definitely very interesting with everything we know about the delay that we have for it and whatnot. So let's take a look here at what they have for us. I want to give my overall thoughts on it. So firstly, in the tweet, they did give us some compensation for the extra delay, and that already is in game. So they gave us 1,000 stellar jades and 10 fuel, which 10 fuel definitely is cool. Some people were saying, at least from what I read in the comments before I went to sleep yesterday, that people were saying that we probably could have gotten more jades. I mean, sure, they probably could have given us like a full 10 pull, but I'm not going to be too crazy on it because regardless of like how much gifts they give us, the game is still going to be in a pretty dry period. So definitely I'm not really too worried about this. Then they said here, currently, the Express crew is constantly working on version 4.0's game content. As such, we have extended the duration of 3.8 in hopes to give Trailblazers a better experience in the next world. Planarcadia. Yeah, either Planarcadia or Planarcadia. Probably Planarcadia, so because it's like, you know, kind of like arcade kind of thing, which it definitely seems not as dark as like Penacony and Amphorius were, but I feel like as well, like Planarcadia, like when we first saw it, it seemed super like upbeat and stuff like that, and then the story took a turn. So we might see a very similar thing here, but there are 3 images that they gave us. I did make them bigger so we can kind of go over them. So first one here, right off the bat, it looks like we are having stuff with the Elation, so we're probably going to get some more stuff about the Masked Fools, which I think is finally really cool. Hopefully we can see more stuff about Sampo, Sparkle as well, which, you know, we do see some character silhouettes back here, and some of them look like some familiar faces. Like that's gotta be Sparkle there. This kind of looks like Blade actually, which is interesting. And then down here, Silver Wolf. Those are the 3 I recognize off the bat. If y'all know who the other ones are and I'm just not like getting it from like an initial glance, let me know down below in the comments. But the fact that we're seeing some, you know, previous characters here, that's definitely cool. Maybe that means we're gonna get some new versions of characters, like a new Sparkle would be pretty cool, I think. New Blade would be awesome. I mean, a new and anyone is honestly gonna be super cool. Because usually with those newer versions, they do cook pretty well with making them cool, making them good. So we definitely do love to see that. But I'm definitely curious to see what these characters' like involvement is gonna be. I mean, Sparkle I think is pretty obvious because she is a Masked Fool as well. So. And it seems like this is going to have very big ties to the Elation with all the masks and everything. So we'll see what they end up doing with this, for sure, with these characters. But also, I'm sure we'll get some new characters, too. Then here we have the Trailblazer walking towards this, like, Elation mask disco ball here, which is a little funny, I can't lie about that. But I do like that we're going into, like, an Elation planet now. It definitely has an identity, which I definitely do love to see. And I feel like from this, because from what people have said through like leaks and unconfirmed stuff, people were saying, and also with what we know about the China-Japan stuff, people were saying that this is supposed to be very like Japanese inspired. So probably the delay is like trying to change some of the themes to make it a bit more neutral, I would think, which I guess, you know, that makes sense for a delay. And depending on like how much, I'm not a game developer, so I don't know how much effort and time that takes, but I'm hoping the 2 weeks is enough to not only make it happen, but also like still make it make sense. But this is definitely a cool scenery here as well. And I honestly like the sky kind of colors too. You have like kind of like those like purplish ripples in the sky there. That is pretty cool. I do like that. And then we go to the last photo here, which is just you know, if we're thinking about the Elation, this is, I feel like this definitely fits the bill here. We have the Trailblazers here, Stell with the camera, Don Hung looking annoyed because, you know, I'm sure it's the trio of us here. And then there's a hand there, which, I'm not gonna make a guess of who that is because I feel like I'm gonna say something and you're gonna be like no, it's obviously someone else in the comments below. So I'm not gonna go there, but we have like a pom-pom, like, I don't know, statue kind of thing, like weird kind of figure. And we have one of Cocolia, of all characters, which is definitely an interesting choice. And they also have like health bars for some of these like monster things too. We also have this one on the side here. So possible like my first thought when I see this is like possible they're gonna bring back the Ethereum Wars, the like Pokemon event thing that they did, which I would love. And I feel like because that was ran by a character who is a mass fool as well, I think this would be pretty cool. Hopefully they can, you know, make something happen with that. But I do like that we have a few different types of like, you know, scenery stuff. Like we have this kind of, you know, town area, like typical like town or city kind of vibe. Then we have this here, which is maybe like more like the nightlife or like a Elation focused area. And then like, cause I would say like with the way the Elation is like contrasting with this, I would say like at first that maybe there's like a divide between like the regular life and then like the Elation life, but Elation is something that, at least from my impression of the lore, you can't really like predict how it's gonna be. So we'll see how they end up, you know, framing the story and framing the involvement of the Elation and us being here. But visually, definitely looks pretty cool so far. The biggest thing I always like to wait for, well, two biggest things, obviously. Number one is the trailer for 4.0 or just any kind of teaser trailer, which before the delay, I was thinking we'd get something in the Game Awards. But because of the delay, I'm not so sure that we're going to get something in the Game Awards later this week. But if we do, you know, I'll be pleasantly surprised about that. Then after that, the actual like gameplay of me actually being there, seeing what they do, because for those of us who were here when Amphorius dropped, Amphorius did look very good, but you know there were some pros and cons to the beginning of Amphorius. But at least for me, I think that they improved as it went on. So I'm hoping for a better start for Planarcadia, but we will see there. But that's gonna be it for this video here. Just want to make a video just talking about my thoughts for this reveal, because this honestly just like kind of came out of nowhere, which is kind of crazy. Actually, hold on, let's see. Do they have any information in the Hoyo Lab post that's different from the tweet here? Let me see there. Oh, they actually have some yeah, they have like a little write up here. The threat of destruction compelled the cosmos to unite once again, and everyone now looks toward other aeons involved. The Express once crashed into and departed from Planarcadia. There, Aha graced the pursuers of Elation with a reward. Join the R game and become an Aeon for a minute. Okay, so it seems like the story for this, with this, you know, kind of description here, they're probably gonna be like some kind of like Elation, like quote unquote game is gonna be like the main thing of the story, which that could be interesting, because the Elation I feel like is a faction, or not even a faction, like it's a path that I feel like hasn't gotten as much like screen time as other paths, but I think has a very interesting concept. So we'll see what they do there. I don't think there's anything else that's yeah, nothing else that's different here. But that's gonna be it for me. Let me know what you all think in the comments down below about Planarcadia and this, you know, reveal here. If you enjoyed and want to see more content from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.